with the post COVID-19 recovery, we have seen that Canada has seen a little bit of increase in the acceptance of African youths into the country. What are the opportunities that exist? And for a lot of African youths that's trying to leave the continent. And now I always say that for youths trying to come migrate to Canada, you always need to find out what are the customs, the culture, the work environment, the skill required in Canada before you come. I know sometimes we might be, an individual might be so desperate and say, know what, let me just leave. When I get there, I'll figure it out. That's another option. But people that take that route always see themselves having issues and challenging being able to, compete economically or settle properly. So right now in Canada, there's a lot of programs. So I have a friend who's also an immigrant, and they were able to get accepted through it's called the Canada National Research Council. They have what they call the Industrial Research Assistance Program. Because what Canada is doing is, like Lady K said, we need to add value. So Canada has seen that when people come from different parts of the world, because Canada is a multicultural nation now, and when people come from different parts of the world, they go into entrepreneurship, for example, let's say IT, and their company become very good. But the next thing is they want to take it over to San Francisco, America. American companies want to buy them. So Canada has a program right now that encourage, Canadians to keep their company local, because when that company explode and become a public company, they become employers of labors, hundreds and thousands of people. So that's why this particular program exists. In addition to that, we've seen that in Canada, we just realized post-COVID that the construction industry had a huge impact. Why? There were certain skill set that was required in construction, but majority of people in construction, because I don't know why, all over the world, people, it seems that the skilled trades is looked down upon. But that's an industry that has so much potential. And I'll give you an example. I have my brother, my immediate elder brother, was in the Navy for over 20 years. And he said, you know what? I want to retire. I want to leave this country. I want to come to Canada. And I said, that's fine. So you've been in the Navy, you've been a military person for over 2 decades. What skills do you have? Because you're not coming here to join the Navy in Canada. You're not coming here to do security services. You have, of course, you have a bachelor's, but and I told him you need to acquire certain skills that is in demand here. Either it's technology driven or you go into entrepreneurship and you go into skills trade. And one of the things I told him is, why don't you learn carpentry? Because there's so much opportunities for carpenter in the construction industry in Canada because there's shortages, or you can even go into the healthcare because we've seen that there's a lot of demand in that space as well. However, I couldn't see a program in Nigeria where it could enroll and acquire those skill set, whereby when it comes to Canada, it can easily assimilate into the industry by going to apprenticeship or go into some sort of courses and then be able to build on that career path. So when he came, he has to start from scratch. So some of the things I tell people, white collar job is good, but with the promises of artificial intelligence, we know that a whole lot of white collar jobs is going to go away again. So now we are the African youth needs to start to build ourselves in these new skills that will make us very, very competitive, and of course, create a career for us. Because we see a lot of people in the skill trade have their own businesses and they employ because they have works of their hands. And because you have those works of your hand, you are able to sustain yourself for a prolonged period until your retirement and build up a very wonderful business that you can even hand over to the next generation. So I continue to encourage people to do that. And there are several programs right now in Ontario, this province that we are in, and of course other provinces as well, that encourage people to go into the skilled trade, be it electrician, resi trades, be it carpentry, flooring, masonry, so many opportunities there as well. So there's several opportunities there. I know of several programs right now that if you have certain skills in even as a chef, even as a healthcare practitioner, there are companies willing to come pick you up from the country you reside in, sponsor you and give you a job. A friend of mine just got sponsored. Why? Because she's a nurse, and hospital in BC sponsored her and brought her all the way to Canada. So there's so many potentials that is beneficial, but it has to be done properly because, like I said, if you have to find out what are those niche and what are those opportunities that exist, take advantage